In question number 16, we want to find the force on wire of length 0.05 meter placed in a long solenoid near its center and making an angle 30° with the axis of solenoid. That means it is making an angle of 30° with the magnetic field. The current in the wire is 10 ampere and magnetic field of the solenoid is 0.2 Tesla. The force on current carrying wire in external magnetic field is given by F is equals to BIL sin theta. Put the value. B is 0.2, I is 10, length is 0.05 into sine 30°. So 2 into 0.05 into sine 30, that is 1 by 2. So answer will be 0.05 Newton. So option 2 is correct option. In question number 17, a thin 50 centimeter long wire or metal bar with mass 750 gram rests on, but it is not attached to two metallic supports. It is not physically attached to the supports, but it is resting. The magnetic field in the region is 0.45 Tesla. A battery of EMF, let's say V, and a resistance 25 ohm are connected. We want to find what is the largest voltage of the battery without breaking the circuit. Here, due to the passing of current in this direction, the magnetic force on this metallic bar will be in upward direction, that is FB, due to magnetic field, and in gravitational force is acting in downward direction, that is its weight. The maximum voltage current will be maximum and this force will be maximum. It should be equal to weight. If this force is more than weight, then it will not be balanced and it will not rest on this support. So force due to magnetic field should be equal to the weight. Force due to magnetic field is given by BIL sin theta. Here the angle between magnetic field and current is 90 degrees, so sin 90 will be 1 is equals to weight, that is mg. I can be written as V by R, so BV by R into L is equals to mg. So V will be mgr divided by BL. Put the values. Mass is given 750 divided by 1000 kg. G is 9.8. R is given 25 divided by magnetic field 0.45 and length is given 0.5 meter. Simplify this, we'll get value of V as 817 volt. So option 1 is correct option. In question number 18, we want to find the magnitude of force between a pair of conductors, each of length 110 centimeter, that is 1.1 meter, and they both are carrying same current. So I1 is equals to I2 is equals to 10 ampere and distance between them is 10 centimeter. When two wires are placed parallel to each other at certain distance, force acting between them per unit length is given by mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d, where d is the distance between them. So force will be mu naught, that is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. I1 and I2 both are 10, so that will be 100 into L, length is 1.1 meter, divided by 2 pi into d, distance between them is 0.1 meter. Simplify this, we will get F is equals to 22 into 10 power minus 5 Newton. So option 4 is correct option. In question number 19, the distance between the wires of electric mains is 12 centimeter. These wires experience 4 mg weight per unit length. So force is given by 4. It is force per unit length. We want to find the value of current flowing in each wire, that is I. The current carrying by them is same and in same direction. Again we'll use the formula of force per unit length, that is mu naught I1 I2. I is same, so I square divided by 2 pi d. So I square is equals to F by L is given by 4 into 2 pi into d is 12 centimeter, that is 0.12 meter, divided by mu naught, that is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. Simplify this value for I. We will get I is equals to 4.85 ampere. So option 1 is correct option. In question number 20, a long horizontal rigidly supported wire carries a current of 96 ampere. Directly above it and parallel to it at some distance, let's say x, another wire of 0.144 Newton per meter carrying a current of 24 ampere in the direction opposite to the lower one. We want to find the magnetic force of repulsion. Here this wire is balanced due to the repulsive force applied by the lower wire. The repulsive force applied will be in opposite direction of gravitational force. So repulsive force acting per unit length F by L should be equal to 0.144 Newton. F by L is given by mu naught I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d. We want to find the distance between them, that is x. So x will be mu naught is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 into 96 into 24 divided by 2 pi into 0.144. Simplify this for the value of x. We will get the answer 3.2 millimeter. So option 3 is correct option. In question number 21, the magnetic induction at the center of a circular loop of area pi meter square is 0.1 Tesla. Let's say circular loop is having radius r. Its area will be pi r square is equals to pi. So from this we can write radius is 1 meter. We want to find the magnetic moment of the loop. Magnetic moment of single turn loop is given by I into E. But we don't know the I. We know the value of magnetic field at center, that is given by mu naught I divided by 2r. So I will be 2rb divided by mu naught. So I can be written as 2rb divided by mu naught into area. R is 1, b is given 0.1 divided by 4 pi into area is given pi. Simplify this, we will get m is equals to 0.2 pi divided by mu naught. So option 2 is. In question number 22, a rectangular coil of wire of 500 turns, an area of cross section 50 centimeter square, that is 50 into 10 power minus 4 meter square. It is carrying a current of 2 ampere in the magnetic field of 2 into 10 power minus 3 Tesla. It is given that the plane of the coil is parallel to the magnetic field. we want to find the torque on the coil. The torque is given by tau is equals to NIAB sine theta. Here, as the plane of coil is parallel to magnetic field, the area vector and magnetic field will be perpendicular. So theta will be 90 degree and sine 90 will be 1. And N is given 500, I is 2 ampere, B is 2 into 10 power minus 3, and area is given 50 into 10 power minus 4 meter square. Simplify this value, we'll get tau is equals to 10 power minus 2 Newton meter, that is 0.01 Newton meter. So option 2 is correct option. In question number 23, a circular coil of 1 turn and area 0.01 meter square carries a current of 10 ampere. It is placed in a uniform magnetic field such that plane of circle is perpendicular to the direction of field. Let's say this is magnetic field and the plane of circular coil is perpendicular to the magnetic field. So the area vector of this coil will be along the magnetic field. So here theta will be equal to 0 degree. Torque will be equal to NIAB sine theta. Sine 0 is 0. So torque will be 0. So option 4 is correct option. In question number 24, a current of 10 power minus 5 ampere produces the deflection of 10 degree in a moving coil galvanometer. We want to find the deflection for the current of 10 power minus 6 ampere. For the moving coil galvanometer, F is directly proportional to theta, that is we can write I is directly proportional to theta. So I2 by I1 is equals to theta 2 by theta 1. So I2 is given 10 power minus 6 divided by 10 power minus 5 is equals to theta by 10. So theta will be equal to 1 degree. So option 1 is correct option. In question number 25, the galvanometer has resistance of 400 ohm. The value of shunt so that its sensitivity is reduced by 1/50 times. Here N is 1 by S and that is given 50 times. The shunt resistance is given by G divided by N minus 1, that is 400 divided by 50 minus 1. So 400 divided by 49. So shunt resistance is 8.16 ohm. So option 3 is correct option. In question number 26, a galvanometer has a resistance of 20 ohm. It is to be shunted so that only 1% of the current passes through it. That means current passing through the galvanometer is 1% of the total current. That is 1 by I by 100. We want to find the shunt resistance connected. Here the shunt resistance can be given by GIG upon I minus IG. G is given 20, IG is given I by 100 divided by I minus I by 100. So shunt resistance will be 20 divided by 99 ohm. So option 3 is correct option. In question number 27, the resistance of a moving coil galvanometer G is given 5 ohm. The maximum current it can measure is 0.015 ohm. That is current that can pass through galvanometer is 0.015 ampere. We want to convert it in an ammeter to measure 1.5 ampere. For that we have to connect a resistance in parallel, that is shunt resistance, and value of shunt resistance is given by GIG upon I minus IG. G is 5, IG is 0.015 divided by 1.5 minus 0.015. Simplify this value, we'll get S is equals to 5 divided by 99, and it should be connected in parallel. So option 3 is correct option. In question number 28, we want to find the maximum potential that can be measured with a voltmeter. The resistance of voltmeter is 1000 ohm. In this case, it can measure the voltage of 6 volt. We want to measure the voltage of 30 volt. What should be the resistance connected in series? Let's say resistance connected in series is X. V is directly proportional to R. So V dash by V is equals to, in the second case, net resistance will be R plus X divided by R. V dash is 30 divided by 6 is equals to 1000 plus X divided by 1000. So X will be equal to 4000 ohm. So option 1 is correct option. In question number 29, a cyclotron is adjusted to give proton beam. The magnetic induction is 0.15 Weber per meter square, and the extreme radius R is 1.5 meter. We want to find the kinetic energy of proton. The charge on proton is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb, and mass of proton is 1.67 into 10 power minus 27 kg. The radius of the circular path followed by a charged particle in magnetic field is given by R is equals to mv upon qb. This mv is linear momentum p by qb, and linear momentum can be written as under root 2m into kinetic energy divided by qb. We want to find the kinetic energy, so kinetic energy will be r square q square b square divided by 2m. Put the values, we will get kinetic energy is equals to 2.43 mega electron volt. So option 3 is correct option. In question number 30, a cyclotron in which magnetic field is 1.4 Weber per meter square is used to accelerate protons. We want to find how rapidly should the electric field between the D's be reversed. These are the D's of electric field. The proton will complete one circle between these D's, and time taken by proton to complete half circle will be t by 2, and this should be the time between the change in direction of electric fields. Time period of moving charged particle in magnetic field is given by 2 pi m upon qp. So here required time will be t by 2, that is pi m upon qb. So pi into mass of proton is 1.67 into 10 power minus 27. Charge is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19, and magnetic field is given 1.4. Simplify this, we'll get answer 2.3 into 10 power minus 8 seconds. So option 1 is correct option.